Good morning. I'm Leslie Wade with the Charleston Parks Conservancy, here with Meg Moore.
Hi everyone.
And Meg talked last week about seeding, and we're going to continue that discussion. So we actually, right here in front of Megan, our camera woman, we have a little guide to our planting plot. So we drew out a 4x8 to scale, somewhat to scale, and put in some of the items that we're going to plant this fall, late summer, fall. So they are warm season plants, but we're also leaving room for some of the cooler season things like radish, lettuces, your kale, beets, carrots,
Kohlrabi.
yes, carrots and kohlrabi. So Megan will show you a picture of this, and you can see what we've started with, but we have left room for some of the other cool season things. So I'm going to talk really quickly about your potting mix, which is really important for your seedlings to germinate. So we start with a nice loose potting mix. We use Sungrow that we get from a local provider, local store. Possums, you know, your Ace Hardwares, Sweetgrass Hardware, I think in Mount Pleasant sells some really good varieties. Hyam sells some really good varieties. So check out some of your local garden centers, and you can find a nice loose germinating mix or potting mix. So most of them are going to have vermiculite or perlite in them, and just have a loose aggregate of soil. So these are dry when you get them, and before you plant, you're going to want to add a little bit of water to it. Sunfish. So you're going to kind of mix the water in until you get your soil to a point where you can form a ball. So that's pretty good. You don't want it too wet. If you're squeezing moisture out of it and you've got droplets of water coming out, it's a little too wet, so just add a little bit more of your dry potting mixture. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of soil and the benefits of gardening. We know all of the physical benefits and stress reliever benefits of gardening, but actually getting into the soil, there are bacteria in the soil and microorganisms in the soil that actually work with your body to increase your mood. They help stimulate serotonin, which actually is an antidepressant in your body. And they actually help boost your immune system. So getting your hands in the soil is really good. Get your kids out there. It helps boost their immune systems as well. So I'm going to hand it over to Meg, and she's going to walk you through seeding.
Great, go. So thank you for joining us today. As Leslie said, we're talking about seeding. We'll continue to talk about seeding through the next couple weeks, because right now we're focusing on our late summer crops, but again, we're leaving room for our cooler summer. So we'll be seeding for our cooler seasons in the next 2 weeks. But today I just want to talk a little bit about seeds, because nature is amazing. Look at all the diversity we have here. We have sunflowers, cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, pumpkin, zinnias, radish, and beets. And you can just see the diversity of the shapes, the different sizes. Some seeds, I'm not going to get too technical, but it's kind of fun to know. Some seeds need to be they need to be buffed up a little bit. You want to break down that seed coat a little bit. So it's called scarification. So you could use sandpaper. Sometimes you could even rub it on a sidewalk or concrete. It just helps the plant, the little embryonic plant, to sprout. There's also something called stratification, which is soaking your seeds in water overnight. And it just helps, again, break down that seed coat. So within these seeds, you can see the different shapes. So we have a pointy side and a smoother side. The pointy side is called a radicle, and that is where the roots will form from. And then the plumule is the other part of the seed, and that will be your shoots, your green shoots. So if you want to be a very meticulous seeder and have the best germination, you're going to plant, thank you, wind. Weeds are dispersed by wind, by the way, and by animals, and by water. Thank you very much, nature. Yeah. So with a cucumber, if you can see the different shapes, you want to plant it the root side down. That makes sense, right? So the roots, you're going to plant this, and you're going to read your seed packet as to the depth of your planting. You don't want to bury them too deep. You're going to gently cover them with soil. Once you have this at the right depth, and then you're going to gently water it in. So once these seeds are dormant, they've been saved properly. Once you water them, that's going to awaken the little embryonic seed, so it's going to want to start to grow. So the roots are going to grow first, and again we have this beautiful light, fluffy, aerated soil so that the little baby roots can grow easily, and then the shoot will start to grow. So what we're going to do is I'm going to seed this tray today. If you're a home gardener, you do not need to seed this many plants. But we were deciding, like, if you want 2 tomatoes, maybe double your seeding just in case something goes wrong. We're going to follow this seed tray. So no matter what we're speaking about in the next couple weeks, we're just going to check in with our little plants so you can see the diversity and see the different timing and maybe have a better understanding about when things are ready to plant out in your garden. We'll check the root systems. As the plants sprout, and again you want to water twice a day, not with a full-on hose. You want to just gently water the plants in twice a day until they sprout, and then continue to do that. Put a date for your own information. You keep a little gardening journal, the variety of the different vegetables, the date, and then also
the date is extremely important because most of these plants are going to germinate within 7 to 14 days. If you go past that 14-day mark, you might want to think, okay, these seeds might not be viable, so don't continue to waste your time and water resources, and you might want to go ahead and go buy some newer seeds that you can get planted and get started.
Yeah, because timing is very important, so you don't want to miss out. And as these grow, we can show you the first leaves that will pop up are called Cotyledon leaves, and they look nothing like the adult plant most oftentimes. So that's very interesting to see, and then the next set of leaves will be true leaves, and they'll start to look like the plant that you are familiar with. So we're excited to share this journey with you, and we hope you'll join us next week. And please feel free to ask us any questions on Instagram, Facebook, or at
gardens@charlestonparksconservancy.org.
Thank you. This is why we do this together.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day.